Sorry about that, everybody. Excuse me. So somebody in my last live about Dremel carving was asking me about chainsaw stuff. And I said, you know what? I said, look, let me just go get my battery saw out of my car and show you, because I understand how frustrating it gets with different saws, different batteries, different bars, different chains. It's a lot to take in when you first start carving. So I'm just going to wait here till he, I think his name was George, shows up. Then we get, this is the saw that this is the only battery saw I use. It's got an 8-inch Canon carving bar on here, dime tip. So because I tried to do this live, I couldn't get the camera in landscape, but now I figured out how to make it landscape. Hi, Rob. Okay, can you hear me? Sometimes this really gets frustrating. Can you hear me talking? Okay, it says my microphone's connected, so you can probably hear me talking. Okay, thank you. So was that fellow's name that was asking, is his name George? Well, this is, if his name was George, this is for George. Now, George, this is the saw that should I wait till he shows up or what? And sorry, George, I'm not frustrated at this. I'm frustrated with YouTube sometimes. Okay, thanks, Rob. We'll just wait till he shows up, I guess. Or maybe he won't show up. I know it's confusing sometimes on YouTube. Because if I go over everything right now, I'm just going to lower the screen a bit so I can read comments. If I go over everything right now and then he shows up, then I'll have to go over everything again. So what should I do, Just Carve Rob? Lead the way, bro. What should I do? You here yet, George, old Georgie boy? So George is asking me questions about the chainsaw. Okay, so in the last live that I was doing about little Dremel carvings and stuff like that, I didn't do much carving, but I painted this little gnome and I carved the details in this little tree, made it look like it's got a little bit of snow on it. George was asking me questions about chainsaw, and I was basically done with that live anyway. So I said, you know what? I'll go out to my car and get my battery chainsaw to try and help you, because he does. I don't think he has a steel dealer. He's got a home hardware where he was asking them questions about the different saws, and they couldn't really give him a proper answer because they didn't have enough. The home hardware is probably the steel dealer. You have to be a steel dealer, I believe, to sell the steel saw. So, but they really didn't have enough experience on these battery saws. Now, steel makes two different battery saws. I'll show you the whole saw later. Steel makes two different battery saws. Well, they make a whole bunch of different battery saws, but they make two different makes. They make the ones with the AK-30 batteries, or they make the other ones. I don't know what the other ones are. This is the one that I have. Why do I have this style? Because besides the handheld pruning one, this is the smallest saw you get. It's the MSA 70C. And yes, this saw does have speed control on this trigger. But do I use the speed control for this saw? No, I absolutely do not. I just run it full blast because these battery saws run a lot slower than the gas saws. I do speed control with the gas saw, but I never use it for this. So I don't think you need speed control unless you don't have a lot of experience with chainsaws. Maybe you want to use speed control, but I don't. I don't even use speed control with my Dremel. And this goes with the same thing. The Dremel, I just run it maximum full speed all the time. I just go harder to the touch with the bit or lighter to the touch with the bit. And that's the same thing with this carving bar. This is a Cannon bar, 8-inch dime tip. It's 50 gauge chain. Now, if you want to get this saw with the steel bar, because steel makes carving bars, but it's not 8-inch, it's 12-inch. They make steel makes two different carving bars, okay? They make the 50 gauge, which is thicker right here. It's thicker this way. 50 gauge is thicker this way. Or the 043 gauge chain, and the 043 gauge chain is thinner, okay? Truthfully, if you're going to put a 12-inch carving bar on this little saw, I might say to get the 043 gauge chain, it's thinner and it cuts through the wood a lot easier. But if you want to get this saw for little blockouts like little mushrooms, little trees, little things, carving, you can get the Cannon, you can get the steel bar, but the 043 gauge chain, the thinner chain, cuts through the wood a lot easier, but the thicker chain is better for detailing, scooping out the wood and stuff. Now, another good thing about this steel saw, the MSA 70C, I'm not too sure about the other ones that take the other batteries. This comes with a quarter pitch sprocket, okay? So you do not need to change the sprocket when you're putting the quarter pitch chain on here. All right? It comes with the quarter pitch sprocket. This saw, the Stihl MSA 70C, comes in. Let me just show you the saw here. That's where the battery goes up here. There's your chain brake thing. And this saw, when you buy it, comes in a package. Okay? It comes in the package. It comes with the battery, the saw, and a charger. The other style of battery chainsaws comes with a different battery. And the batteries don't work for each another. You have to get the same saw, the same battery. Now, the other ones, I believe, you have to buy them individually. The saw does not come, I think, that's the way it was a year ago. I'm not too sure about now. But you have to buy the saw, you have to buy the battery, and you have to buy the charger all separate. This one comes as a package. This is the latest one. This is the one that I use. This is the AK30. Okay? So it depends what you want to do with this saw. Do you want to block out like little branches or little log? Like, do you want to cut little logs like this and carve little mushrooms, carve little trees, carve wood spirits? This saw is perfectly fine for that. But anything bigger, you might want to go to a bigger battery saw. Does that make sense? So the final tip I can give you for this battery, so I'm not speaking for the other ones, for the other Stihl with the different batteries. Let me pull my camera thing up here. And this is what you say to the Stihl dealer, and they'll be like, no, that's not true, that we don't have that, we can't get that. Well, if they're a Stihl dealer, they're wrong. They can. When you go to your Stihl dealer or your home hardware that's sells Stihl saws and it makes them a Stihl dealer, and you want this, I can't speak for the other saw. If you want this saw and the battery and the charger, it's a package. Again, the Stihl MSA 70C. You say to them, even if they don't have this, you say to them, I would like to order the Stihl MSA 70C package with the battery and the charger. I would like to order a 12-inch carving bar, that steel makes, sometimes those carving bars are on back order. They'll say it's on back order and it might take 2 years. Say, I don't care, order it, right? Because it won't take 2 years, maybe a month tops. I can't read the comments right now. I'm trying to explain things. Go to your steel dealer, order this package, order the bar. If you want the 50 gauge chain, it's thicker. It will cut slower through the wood if you're cutting through logs like this. If you order the 43 gauge, if you order the thinner chain, the 043, it will cut faster, but it's not as good for detailing, in my opinion, because it's harder to use the tip because the chain is so thin. When you got the thicker chain here, you can use the chip to scoop out wood spirit eyes. You can do it for a bunch, scoop out owl eyes and owl things. I just like the 50 gauge chain better. It will cut a lot slower with this saw if you're going to cut out little logs and stuff, but it will work. All right, George, you're going to have to watch this whole video this live video over again, because I've been explaining everything for you. This is what I'm talking about, just Rob. Now I'm going to have to repeat everything, but I don't want to repeat everything. Just watch it over. It's the MSA 70C that I use. This has speed control. When you buy this one, it comes with the package. It comes with the saw, the battery, and the charger. Now, again, when you go to a steel dealer that don't know about chainsaw carving or don't even really know much about these battery saws, I would like to order the Stihl MSAC. They'll go on their computer, boom, there it is. They'll order it. Say, I would like to order a steel carving bar. This is the easiest. This is how you don't get confused with Cannon bars and different things. Let me start over. Order the saw, the package, right? And this is for this AK30 batteries. Order the package. Order the steel carving bar. They might say, oh, we don't have those. Say, we'll order it. The Stihl sells them. They'll say it's on back order. We don't know how long it's going to take. Say, order it anyways. Probably be a 3 months to a month. Okay. I think this just curve, Rob. Can you go on the Stihl site and see how much this package costs? I think this package, I bought it for 400 and something Canadian dollars when I bought it. This MSA 70C is the smaller. It's smaller than the 60 one that you're talking about, George. This I don't know if it's the M8, but the 60 one that you're talking about has different batteries. You have to buy them all individually. A year ago, I believe. I don't know if they sell them in packages now. But then when you're talking to the steel dealer or your home hardware dealer about these bars, say, I would like to order the bar, and you'll have to watch the video again. You do not need to buy a quarter pit sprocket. It comes with the exact same sprocket that you need for this bar, if it's a steel bar. When you're doing that, order the chain that comes with the bar. You can order a 043 bar or a 50 gauge bar. Order the same chain. Order 2 of them, and you'll be good to go. And sometimes you have to tell the dealers, you have to say, no, look, this is what I want you to order from Stihl. The saw, if this is a saw you want. The saw, kit, the bar, and the chain. You do not need to change the sprocket. I don't know about the other saws if you need to change the sprockets or not. Now, is there any questions that you have for me, George? You'll have to watch this video. I might have to take till tomorrow, tell it to YouTube to doing the processing and shit, but you'll be able to watch it maybe tomorrow or later tonight, where I explain everything. This is the lightest one that Stihl makes. I don't know how big of carving that you want to do, but this is the lightest one that Stihl makes, beside that little handheld pruner that's got the little batteries. This is the one that I use. I use it for detailing. And you can even do small carvings with this too. Now, if you want to get the Cannon bar, I think you're in Canada, you have a home hard. Always take your batteries out if you're not using it. If you want to get the Cannon bar, get a hold of Ryan Cook, and he sells these Cannon bars. This is the 8-inch Cannon bar. Ryan Cook here in Canada. I don't think Home Hardware is in America. So just look for Ryan Cook's email address, and he sells these cannon bars. And I suggest you order a few chains from him too. You don't need to change your sprocket. This has a 50 gauge, this has a quarter pitch sprocket. All the chainsaws that I have that have the smaller bars on them, like 12-inch and stuff, they all have quarter pitch sprocket that's quarter pitch chain. Okay. The 50 gauge chain is, most logs are 24 inches or some bigger ones. Okay, well, that's pretty big. So maybe this saw might not be the right choice. This saw might not be the right saw for you. Do you have any gas saws? Do you run any gas saws? And do you have to be quiet with neighbors? Like, do you have neighbors that will bitch because you're running the gas saws all the time? I'm just going to lower my thing so I can sit down and try and answer your question, because you might be confused. You might not know what saw you want now. And I'm here to try and help you. Because trust me, man. Trust me. It can get so frustrating trying to learn it all, especially when your dealer doesn't know. And your dealer might know. I'm going to carve it in my backyard. I have to go to a buddy's place to use my gas saws. Okay, so you have gas saws. So you're just going to be doing the detailing and stuff. Are you going to be are you just going to cut up the logs in your buddy's backyard, or are you going to be blocking out your shapes in your backyard, in your buddy's backyard with your saws? I just started with the Stihl MS 120 gas saw. 120. What's the Stihl MS 120 gas saw? I got to lower this camera a bit more. Sorry. I started with the Stihl 1S MS 120 gas saw. Which one? I don't know what that is. Maybe it's older. I started out with the Stihl MS 120 gas saw. When the tree fell down, they were very understanding, but I haven't stopped. Okay, well, you haven't stopped carving. And I I have a problem reading these because there's something in the way of my screen. And I kept wanting to go outside to carve, and little bits and electric saws would be perfect. Yeah, I've been using the gas ones to block out. Want something like you have. Yeah, so okay, so I think this would be the good saw for you. Go to Home Hardware. They might be placed stupid. They'd be like, oh, just say, can you please go to the Stihl website? Can you please order me this saw kit? Saw, battery, and a charger. And then say, can you please order me the Stihl carving bar, 50 gauge, with two steel chains that will the two chains that will fit that bar. And the chains will be quarter pitch 50 gauge chain. 50 gauge chain is the thicker chain. Now, you got to make sure that you get the you got to make sure that you get the you got to make sure that you get the 50 gauge bar too, because you can't, I don't know if you can or not, but I don't suggest it. I don't know if you can run the thinner chain on the 50 gauge chain. So it depends. Do you want the thinner chain, thinner this way, or the thicker chain? I like the thicker chain. Then I think I'm starting to repeat myself. So I have I don't know about what the 162. I have the quick charger for this too. It charges the battery, and it charges the battery by the time this other battery is dead when I'm done charging it. Depends how strong you are. Do you want a bigger saw to do details? A bigger saw will run faster. It will cut faster. This saw is light. It's easy to use. It's easy to maneuver. Start off with the 12-inch steel carving bar. Then if you want to get the little tiny 8-inch cannon bar, Ryan Cook sells them in Canada. It's Saw Valley. You can just Google Saw Valley. Ryan Cook Saw Valley. That's the name of his store. Or don't buy the steel bar and just get the 8-inch cannon bar from Ryan. But I say when you get the cannon bar, if you don't know about chains, you don't have a chain maker, order some chains from them too. But these battery saws don't go through chains that much. They run a lot slower than the gas saws. Now let me show you how old my chain is. I need to put a new chain on this. See how small those cutters are? They're like basically nothing left on them. Well, that's a raker. That's a cutter right here. So I need to make a new chain for this. But anyways, I hope that answered all your questions. Watch this video back again, get a pen and paper, and you'll know exactly what to say to the home hardware. I know what you're talking about. It's frustrating. This is the latest MSA 70C. This is the latest saw that still makes with the battery saws. The other battery saws, the MSA 60, it's a smaller number than this. I don't know if it's MSA, but it's a smaller number than the 70, but it's a bigger saw and it's heavier, but it's probably faster or more stuff than this. Because my buddy a couple of years ago brought his over, Larry Dale. I tried it. I'm like, man, this thing's like a tank compared to this saw. That other one's like a tank compared to this saw. And if you have the money, order 2 batteries. So when you're carving, you can charge the other battery. When I'm carving fast and heavy, this battery will last me about 30 minutes. And I plan on doing another video on this too, just when I get to my tent. Watch this video over again, have a pen and paper ready, and then you're good to go. What was that last thing that you said? MS 162. Man. Thanks again. Yeah, the gas one I have is MS 162. Oh, you got one of the new ones. Is the MS 162. I got the 162 as well, but I fried my clutch on it or something. Most of my carvings hadn't been sanded down, chipping away, and I'm sure that will help. Do you have the steel carving bar on the 162 or just a normal bar? Yeah, so do that. Use your 162. You can get the steel carving bar on the 162, but you have to change the sprocket to the quarter pitch. Just order that too. Then get a 8-inch. It just goes on and on and on. So simplify it. Go to steel, order the saw kit, order the bar, and then you're off to the races. Then you can start doing some detailing. All right? Is that good? Am I free to go? And I hope I was able to help you. Quick charger really speeds up. It's not cheap, but it really speeds up charging these batteries. So I think I have 4 of these batteries. But I don't know where you are in Canada. You got where are you in Canada? Home hardware. Stephen Kanzora's in Ontario, and he left some of his batteries outside for the winter, and well, they stopped working. I guess they got too cold. Anyways, my battery's going to die. Yeah, so the battery saws they make a little bit of noise, not much compared to the gas saws. Okay, I hope it helped. Like I said, watch the beginning of this video. I know what I say kind of, I can get fucking confusing because I'm confusing myself. But I hopefully you understand what I was saying. This is the latest one right here.